Flooded a lot. Hundreds of gallons. Yeah. It was raining in that room.
Flooded the entire upstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
Flowed down into this floor and into the floor below.
So what, was it coming from the toilet over the top of the toilet?
No, when I got there, you know, here's basically the story. Okay, these guys checked in a little after midnight on June the 25th. It was a famous rapper named Lil Pump. I don't know if you know who he is or not, but anyway. At about a little after 6 in the morning, I received a text from him saying that, he said, your roof is leaking. And I said, my roof is leaking. He said, where is it leaking? He says, in the office. I said, well, the roof isn't, you know, I said, if they're leaking in the office, it's got to be coming from the master bath. So I came over, and I had a look at it, and at the time, I looked in the master bathroom. Everything was completely dry. There was no water in the bathtub, no water in the shower, no water in the toilet area, no water on the floor, except for a bath mat, which was completely soaked, and a towel that was wet. Okay, otherwise, there was nothing up there. But when I went down into the room there, it was raining. It was raining inside the room. It was coming through the ceiling everywhere. It was coming through the lamp, and there was a little plastic waste paper basket, like a little plastic can, basically, that was filled to about 3 or 4 inches of water. So a ton of water went through there. The whole floor is warped, and the ceiling is ruined, and the walls are you know, been damaged as well from all the water that was coming down there. So it was coming down in, you know, a large flow. It had to be hundreds of gallons of water. So when I asked them, you know, did anyone use the bathtub? They said no. Did anyone use the shower? No. Did anyone use the toilet? Yeah. Who used it? Don't know. Nobody really knew what happened, or at least they weren't saying what happened. But then they claimed it was a toilet malfunction. But the toilet worked fine beforehand. It worked fine when I came that day. And it worked fine when they checked out, and it's worked fine hundreds of times since that time. So I don't know. I mean, they could have been having boat races in there. I mean, you know, don't know what it could have been.
You know what? That sounds really weird, because if it was a supply line for that amount of water, you'd have to have some sort of continuous flow, right? So you have to have somebody flushing the toilet repeatedly. You're going to have a shower that stays on, a tub that's draining out completely. And then potentially you could have like a crack in the sewer pipe, something like that, and that would allow a lot of water to flow out.
But there was the thing about it is, to have a crack in the pipe, it wouldn't have just stopped when they left.
Exactly.
There would have still been problems.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, it's not a crack in the pipe.
No.
With regard to the continuous flow, which you obviously picked up on, a soft stoppage would or would not allow for continuous flow in a toilet.
It wouldn't. I mean, you would flood out with the first flush, and then if you have a brain, you wouldn't flush it again. Right. So I don't know where all the water would be coming from. And if it was a supply line, it's pressurized, so it never would have stopped. So, I mean, has anything been done since? I mean,
no.
Have they tore out the ceiling, tore out the walls in the office? Nothing?
Mm-mm.
And you've run the shower, the tub, the
yeah.
toilet up there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it's never repeated.
Correct.
They did something weird.
Yeah.
They did something weird in that bathroom.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what we said. I mean, it worked fine before, it worked fine after. There's a 6-hour period that it floods. Nobody knows, nobody's talking about what happened, except they claimed that it was a toilet malfunction.
Can I look and see if,
Sure,
is there evidence of
oh, yeah.
where the water was?
Absolutely. In fact, I have videos of the rain. I took videos when it was raining in the office there. So there's plenty of evidence of that.
The reason I'm kind of going through it in my head is because unless they did something really weird, it's got to be one of the two things that I mentioned. So it's magic.
I mean, look, you can see, all right, you see the ceiling, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you see the walls there along there. See that? And then you want to see the floors. These floors are all...
Well, I can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it, but
I can feel these are all...
But I'll tell you, the place where you can see it the best is this little compass rose on the
Hanging-
floor
this
here.
fixture is
Yeah.
directly underneath the toilet.
Here, look at this thing.
So it flooded.
Do you see? It's like a teepee now.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? It just all rose up, and these things have been flickering since that time too. They used to be on, just they weren't flickering.
And so you said this is directly under the toilet?
It's
Right.
directly under the, well, it's directly under the bathroom, master bathroom.
So we picked up moisture readings throughout the entire ceiling. It rained down onto the floor, and then the water continued to go down.
It went through to
There's
the,
a hole through the ceiling right there because of where the chandelier is.
yeah, it
So
was,
I would imagine this would be.
it was raining through that as well.
But this looks like it's where it's the heaviest.
Yeah, it was all over.
So
And there was the little wastebasket was right here. It was right here, and it was filled to about 3 or 4 inches of water.
see, so what I'm thinking happened is that something dumped here, and then you're just getting residual that's raining here, and some that came down here. This looks like it's definitely the heaviest spot. I mean, it's taking the finish off the wood.
Yeah.
It expanded enough to where now you got a giant gap right there.
But we also have a coffer beam there,
Right.
which all acts as a track.
Yeah. But you see how this is right here?
Yep.
Well, that could be the low point too,
This
though.
area would be,
That could be lower than that.
well, even if it was lower and the water started here and it was running this way,
Yeah.
this would be the same as just as warped as this, because this would be getting continuous water, and as the water slowed down, this would end up with the last little bit of water on it.
Maybe, although the other thing is, it went directly through. It's like a drain. It went directly through where the chandelier is, and could have just gone straight through that way. Whereas water going that way, if that's lower, would have just gone in a different
You
direction.
want to go up and see where the toilet
Yeah.
is?
I do,
located?
because
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, but the amount of water coming
Yeah.
through there had to have been less than that. Otherwise, the ceiling around there would look the same, and it doesn't.
Maybe, I don't know.
So
Bring that toilet down, and that continued to flow down.
Yeah, it went down below.
You have an octagon there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my head, kind of, because I'm gonna figure out what's right side there.
We have the floor plans too. I mean, you can see it through the floor plans exactly where everything is.
Well, so in my mind, the next thing that I would do after we pull the toilet, we run the camera, we inspect the drain line, hey, everything looks good, would be to remove the ceiling and see what it looks like.
Well, the problem with that is that I don't want to remove the ceiling or cause any invasive damage there until we have the materials and the labor and the money to put it back. Because otherwise it takes the whole house out of service and it costs me $2,500 a day while it's sitting there and I'm fighting it out with these people.
Oh, yeah. I
This
wouldn't do
isn't
that
a
either.
normal first-party insurance claim. It's a different carrier that is taking a position.
So the carrier is taking the position that they're not paying for loss of income. So if I tore the thing apart and it was off the market for 3 months or 4 months, whatever, it just costs me money.
Oh, a lot of money.
And if they don't pay to put it back,
That's the corner. That's the corner that we were looking at. So there's the day of the event.
This would be.
This is all mopping, so
If they left the bidet on and the bidet was shooting way up and just flooding the floor, that's in the same corner. The other thing is if the shower's not sealed properly.
they did say they didn't use the shower.
Yeah, but people lie.
Yeah,
Especially for hundreds of thousands of dollars, people lie.
yeah, they do. That's been sealed with actually epoxy rather than just cotton.
There's
No,
a,
he hasn't seen the film. Oh, I don't know whether he has or not.
there's an actual of the day within hours of the event. There's a video of his security guard cleaning up. Who's that black pants, black shoes was mopping up the floor in the video?
Was there somebody mopping up the floor
Yeah.
in the video? The video was it was a video I took while I was here. It wasn't hours after the event. It was like right after the event, or at least right after they notified me.
So sources reported that water came flowing out, out of. But they report being the toilet.
They said the toilet.
Can the bidet actually be turned left on, shooting
I
up?
think so, yeah. I mean, as far as I know, you. I mean, you can have a sustainable flow. know, and then.
It would have to be doing that for a long time, unmonitored,
but look at
and yeah, and a
But look
lot.
at a toilet. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you hold the handle down, you're
Right.
going to get this much water, and
Yeah,
then it stops.
and then it stops.
Unless this malfunctioned and it stayed on, but it wouldn't flood out with the amount of water you're talking about.
Right.
They would, you know what I mean? Like, it's working fine now.
Yeah.
You haven't messed with it.
It's working.
it worked fine
It
before.
worked fine before. It worked fine when I came here to look at it. It worked fine as soon as they checked out. It has worked fine hundreds of times since that time, and I've published to YouTube twice 10 consecutive flushes just to have it of record that as of that time it was working perfectly.
All bone dry in here.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of wood being warped or flooded out or anything like that. I mean, there's a little evidence of water over on the side here, but I don't think that's from the same thing. It looks like it's from the outside in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the bidet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put it together at first, but that's the only thing that would have continuous flow.
Well, somebody would have to leave it on though. Just
If
leave.
somebody doesn't know what they're doing, I mean, it's not hard to.
Well, okay, but I guess what we're trying to establish is there's no malfunction in the plumbing and that it was user misuse.
And so if those two tie in together, those two drains tie in and then they go somewhere, and that drain was clogged with a soft stoppage for a while, that would allow that amount of water, if the bidet was left on,
Yeah.
Okay.
to overflow.
All right, and then if they left the bidet on, then that's misuse, and you don't just leave it on forever.
Yeah, we need a deputy, so they need to call.
Well,
for a deputy
what time is it now?
11:18.
Okay, I think we've given Blake enough time to get here because I know everybody's got things they have to do today. So why don't you just get started doing what you're doing, and we'll get it done. I don't know where Blake is, but he knew that 11 o'clock was.
With everything that we talked about,
Mhm.
water takes the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
So in theory, everything sounds good, but the reality of the situation could be very different. It could have been something that they didn't even know that they were using, that they used, that just traveled down. Like you said, the beam.
Yeah.
I've seen some weird things. So that's, in my opinion, what it would be.
Yeah.
But it's not 100% until we open everything up and we see the real evidence. So let me go grab my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get my guy there. Okay, thanks.
I wonder where Blake is. You know.